Hello kids, this is teacher Marsha. Welcome back to my video tutorials. Today we will be moving on with another unit 9. It's all about decimals, and the first lesson under decimal that we're going to talk about is about tenths. Let's all learn together. Let's take a look at the examples in your books. First example. Padma folded a square piece of paper into 10 equal parts. She colored one of the parts. So this is the part where she colored. So if we're going to write it in fraction, it will be 1/10. But we can write this fraction into decimal as well. So how do we write 1/10 or 1/10 into decimal? We write it as this one, 0.1. So 0 is the whole number part and 1 is the number that tells us how many tenths there are. The dot is called a decimal point. It separates the whole number from the decimal part. So we say 0.1. In fraction, again, we say 1/10. This is the fraction. We say 1/10. In decimal, we say 0.1. Number 2 example. Padma works out that if 1/10 equals 0.1, then 2/10 equals 0.2. She decides to make a table. So here we have a table. The first column shows picture. The second column shows the fraction. And the third column shows the decimal part. Okay, so as you can see, the first picture, one part is shaded, so we call it 1/10. In decimal, we say 0.1. This is the numeric equivalent and this is the word equivalent. Second, so two parts are colored, so we say 2/10 in fraction. And in decimal, we say 0.2. This is the numeric and this is the word equivalent. Next, three parts are colored, so we say 3/10, and in decimal we say 0.3. Now for the next one, we have four colored parts, so we say 4/10, and for decimal again we say 0.4. Next, we have five colored parts, we say 5/10 in fraction, and for decimal we say 0.5. Next, six parts colored, we say 6/10. In decimal, we say 0.6. Then we have seven parts colored out of 10, so we say 7/10. And in decimal, we say 0.7. Another one, we have eight parts colored out of 10, so we say 8/10 in decimal, in fraction. And in decimal, we say 0.8. Nine parts colored out of 10, so we say 9/10 in fraction, and in decimal 0.9. And the last one, 10 parts out of 10 colored, so all the parts are colored, so that is 10 out of 10, or we say 1 whole. Okay, so in decimal we write 1.0 or 1 whole. Third example. We can write decimal numbers on a place value chart. Let's have a look at letter A. Look at the colored circles. Each circle is divided into 10 parts, which make it tenths as fraction. So there are two circles which are fully colored, so that is two wholes. We have one whole and two wholes. And the last circle, there's only one part which is colored. So we can write it as 1/10. So this two wholes is 2. So 2 and 1/10. So in decimal, we can write it as 2 and 1/10 or 2.1. Let's go to letter B. Look at the colored rectangles. Each rectangle is divided into 10 parts. There are how many whole numbers? Let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 8 whole numbers. The last rectangle, there are only 6 parts which are colored. So it is 6 out of 10. So we can say in mixed number 8 and 6 tenths. But in decimal, we write it as 8.6. Letter C. Let's count the rectangles that are completely colored. So that makes our whole number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So we have 12. And there's one rectangle wherein there are only 4 parts colored out of 10. So that is 12 and 4/10. And in decimal, we write it as 12.4. Okay. Now for letter D, we only have numeric fraction here, 35 and 7 tenths. So we write that as 35.7. Now let's answer the practice exercises in your student's book and in your workbooks. Let's start with the student book. Number 1, look at the diagrams. Write the decimal number. Letter A. As you can see, there is only one part colored, so that is 1 out of 10, or we write it as 0.1. Letter B. How many parts are colored? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that is 6 out of 10, or we can write that as 0.6. So you have to do the same with C and D. Number 2, write the decimal number in words. Letter A, 0.3. Letter B, 0.5. So kindly do the same with the rest from letter C to letter F. Number 3, take the diagram that shows 1.1. So you have to choose which of the following figures is showing 1.1. Is it A? Is it B? Is it C? Or is it D? Just tick the correct answer. Number 4, read the description of the decimal number and write the digits in the place value chart. Letter A, the 6 is in the ones place. Ones place is a whole number. The 4 is in the tenths place. The 5 is in the tens place. So just read the description of every sentence and then put the numbers in the correct column. Tens, ones, and tenths. Okay? Let's practice. Write the fractions as decimals. We write 1/10 as 0.1. Letter B, we write 4/10 as 0.4. So do the same with letter C, letter D, letter E, and letter F. Number 2, write the decimal numbers as fractions or mixed numbers. So this is the opposite of number 1. Here we have to write the fraction. So 4.6, it means 4 is the whole number and 6 is the numerator, and we have 10 as the denominator. So that is 4.6 or 4 and 6 tenths. For letter B, we have 35.9. So we have to write 35 as our whole number. 9 will be our numerator and our denominator is 10. Okay? Please follow the example and do letter C and letter D. Let's continue with your workbook. Number 1. Look at the colored parts of the shape and write the decimal number. Letter A. Count the colored parts of the circle. There are 3 colored parts, so we write it as 3/10 in fraction, and in decimal we write 0.3. Letter B. Let's count the colored parts of the shape. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. So that is 0.6. Follow the example and then do and answer letter C up to letter H. Number 2, write the decimal numbers in words. So again, it's the same with the student book. So this is 8.7. Letter B, just write the decimal numbers in words and do the same up to letter E. Number 4, read the fraction and write the decimal number. So it's better if we write first the fraction in numeric form and then we write it in decimal. So letter A, we have 1/10. So how do we write it? 1/10. So that is 0.1. Okay. Letter B, we have 3 and 2/10. 3 and 2/10. Okay, so how do we write it? We write it as 3.2. Remember, there is a whole number. Okay, so kindly follow the example and answer letter C to letter E. Number 5, color the fraction of the shapes to match the decimal number. So we have letter A, we have 1.2. 1.2, it means 1 and 2/10, okay? So we have to color one part. This is one part, one whole, okay? This is the whole number, one part. And then we have to color 2 parts out of 10 because that is 1 and 2/10, okay? Letter B, we have 0.8. It means 8/10. 0.8 means 8 out of 10. So we just have to color 8 parts out of 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Right? Letter C, we have 2 and 7/10. And letter D, we have 4 and 5/10. So for letter C, you have to color 2 wholes and 7 out of 10. For letter D, you have to color 4 and 5/10. So you have to color 4 wholes and then 5/10. Number 6, look at the decimal number. Fill in the blanks. So here it will be easier if you make a place value chart. So we have tens, we have ones, decimal point, and then tenths. Okay, so number 1, letter A, 46.7. So 46.7. The digit 4 is in what? It is in the tens place. It has a value of 40. The digit 6 is in the ones place. It has a value of 6. The digit 7 is in the tenths place. It has a value of 7/10. Let's go to letter B. If we're going to write it in the place value chart, so it will be 18.4. Okay? So the digit 4 is in the tenths place. It has a value of 4/10. The digit 1 is in the tens place. It has a value of 10. The digit 8 is in the ones place. It has a value of 8. Kindly do the same pattern for letter C and letter D. Now let's go to number 7. Read the clues given and write the digits in the place value chart. So you have to write each sentence and write it accordingly to the place value chart. Letter A, the digit 5 is in the tens place. Digit 5 is in the tens place. This is the tens. The digit 4 is in the tenths place. The digit 9 is in the ones place. So we have 59.4. Letter B, the digit 0 is in the ones place. The digit 1 is in the tens place. And the digit 8 is in the tens place. So we have 10.8. Kindly do the same also for letter C and letter D. Thank you all for watching, and I hope to see you all again next week for another lesson. Bye-bye!